Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. And first things first, I wanted to give you guys some updates on the Grattitude t-shirt because I said I would and I didn't film a morning chat last Monday. So I taken some notes because I wanted to share with you. And I actually have the shirt with me right here. So as you can see, Grattitude is not on here because this is a sample and Grattitude wasn't embroidered directly onto the shirt. It was actually embroidered onto another fabric and just taped on. But when I went to wash this, I actually removed it and now I think that it might have gotten thrown out. So I can't find Grattitude. So this shirt is actually not in the cotton that I chose from the swatches that I had. It's actually a little bit thicker, but I don't know where it got lost in communication. But anyway, it got printed on this cotton. When I first saw this shirt and I felt it, I wasn't crazy about it just because it wasn't what I was picturing in my head. But in the Instagram picture where I was wearing this to share it with you guys, I had a black bra on and I couldn't even really see the black bra through the shirt, so that was a very unexpected surprise that I was happy about. Usually with white tees, I have to wear a nude bra, or if I wanted to wear a black bra, I would have to wear some sort of a cami underneath, so that was a plus. Like I mentioned earlier with the Grattitude not being embroidered directly on, if I am to place a larger order to make it available to you guys, he told me that it would be stitched straight onto the shirt. Now the other thing is, the font or typography that I originally wanted for Grattitude, we couldn't get for the sample. He wanted me to send it to him in some sort of illustration file. Now, I'm not familiar with Photoshop or any of those photo editing software, so I couldn't give it to him in the format that he wanted. So he sent me a sample of different Grattitude font, and I just chose the one that was closest to the one that I wanted. But honestly, it's ways away from what I wanted. The typography that I want is the same font as you guys see in the intro, not for morning chats, but for all my other videos. In the beginning, where you guys hear that pen clicking sound, and it says Jenn Rogers in that like handwritten script. So Brandon actually got someone to create that into an illustration file. I'm gonna see if I can get that printed on another shirt. What else? My client also told me that if I'm going to place the order for these shirts, I have to place a minimum order of 20 shirts, and they would all have to be in the same size. The other thing with that is, if you've been to Korea, you might be very familiar with this, but there's something called free size here. And what that basically means, it's a one size fits all, which is obviously not true. But if you go shopping at many Korean boutiques, they'll often have free sizes. So if you wanted to try something on, that's the only size available to you. And when I first came out to Korea and I gained weight, I couldn't fit into the free size. So it is not a one size fits all. And I was telling my client, like, okay, I know that's a thing in Korea, but that is not going to fly in the States or anywhere else. But yeah, he did tell me that if I were to place my first order, all of them would be in the free size. So that was kind of a bummer. I'm sure if I were to order like hundreds of shirts, I can probably get 3 different orders of different sizes. But then again, that requires me to know exactly how many people are legitimately interested. And that also requires some figuring out on my end in terms of shipping. Like, that's what I'm worried about. Shipping out of Korea to other countries is not cheap. I actually sent a friend some mascara. And the mascara cost less than 20 bucks, but to ship it, it was $20. And I don't want to give you guys that burden of paying such high shipping. And so if I can get this t-shirt to look exactly the way that I want, and I'm happy enough to be able to share it with you guys, like if it doesn't meet my standards, I'm not even going to try to sell this to you guys. Completely honest. My best friend Jess did offer for me to send her like a bulk order in New York, and then she would ship them out for me, which is so generous and so kind. Like, of course she would do that for me. But yeah, I didn't even ask her, and she totally put that offer on the table for me. So that's really cool. And the last thing is, this shirt isn't in the cotton that I wanted, but I kind of like this now. So I don't know if I want to stick with this or the original cotton. He did tell me that if I place my order of 20 shirts, that he'll print them on the original tee. But then I don't want to print 20 shirts on that original tee if, you know, I can't get a sample. So, and on top of that, the communication between us, you know, about these shirts is either in broken Korean on my part or broken English on his part. So I think there are things in there that are definitely getting lost in translation. But the good thing is, Brandon and I are having dinner with my client and his wife, and you know, Brandon knows exactly where I am at with the shirt, and so hopefully he will be able to be my translator. Those are pretty much all the details that I have right now for this shirt. I did wash it once, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I never put my clothes in the dryer. Like, I only wash them in the washing machine, and then they all hang dry. So when I first washed it, it actually felt stiffer than when I first got it as a sample. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm kind of bummed about that. But then I wore it 2 or 3 times. Okay, son. I wore it 2 or 3 times after I washed it, and then it softened up again. So that was really cool. Like, I hate when I buy clothes and they feel nice and then you wash it and it's a completely different shirt. Well, luckily I didn't experience any of that. So right now I am satisfied with the shirt right now for myself during this test period, but it's not ticking off all the boxes for me. So this project is still pending. I had a really hard time falling asleep last night, and so I got out of bed pretty late today. I woke up around 8:30, but then I went back to sleep and I didn't get out of bed until close to 10. Yeah, close to 10. And I remember, like, while I was pulling myself out of bed, I was just thinking like, oh, I don't want to film today. I feel so lazy. I just want to be in my pajamas until I have to go to work. But then I woke up to just the sweetest email. It just totally set the tone for my day. So it was actually an email from one of my viewers. She's one of my younger viewers because the majority of you guys are between the ages of 25 to 34 based on my YouTube analytics. But this email came from a girl. Her name is Hannah. Hi Hannah, if you're watching. Hannah is 18 years old, and she just wrote me seriously the cutest email, just, you know, introducing herself and telling me how long she's been watching my channel and how she's been feeling really inspired, and she even called me like her mentor, and it was just really so touching. And she shared that she was watching one of my older vlogs, and she noticed that the neighborhood that my parents live in, it's right by her high school. And Hannah, I actually went to the same high school as you. I graduated in 2003. So that's really funny. It's not creepy at all. Yeah, she shared like, I hope this isn't creepy for you, but no, not creepy at all. So in her email, she told me that she will be coming out to Korea to study in the spring, and she asked if we could meet up for a coffee or a meal. And she actually included in here, she said, you know, here are all my social media links, you know, stalk me all you want. Like, I hope you don't think I'm a fake fan. I'm just genuinely a huge Jenn Rogers fan living life. Like, Hannah, you are so cute. Actually, Brandon read this email too, because the email to which you sent this, which is the one that's linked up to my YouTube account, Brandon has access to that email as well. And so he read it and he forwarded it to me, and he was like, man, this girl, she's really got it together for a teenager. And I was like, yeah, you do. He was just so touched by it that he forwarded your email to me. If Brandon and I are still in Korea next spring, girl, I will definitely meet up with you for coffee or food or whatever you want. And I share this email with you guys, you know, not just because it's so sweet, but it was such a good reminder for me to know that the only person that keeps getting in the way of God doing his work in my life is me. You know, I could have easily woken up and made all the excuses about, why I didn't want to sit here and film. But then to hear about the positive impact that my videos are having on someone across the world, like, how dare I not show up, And I know I say this often, but I just keep getting these validations for what I'm trying to do here. And I was actually sharing about this email with two of my friends, and I was just like, man, God has shit to do in my life. Like, I need to step out of the way and just be obedient and just go. So Hannah, thank you so much for the lovely kick on the butt that I needed this morning. So one of my male viewers, and I don't have a lot of those, but his name is Hank, and he's awesome. And the other day he sent me a screenshot of this website he was checking, and it said like November is now the new National Gratitude Month. I don't know when this started, but I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was like, well, duh, that makes sense because, American Thanksgiving is in November. But I believe Hank lives in the Netherlands. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Hank. But yeah, he sent me that screenshot and he was like, do what you want with this. I just thought that was so cute. And how fitting, because with my gratitude series and me just trying to think and live more positively in the past few months, and November is also my favorite month because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of all holidays, and my birthday is also in November, and Brandon's birthday was just last week. So yeah, November has always been just a very special time, and plus the weather is beautiful. Like, it's still fall and crisp, and it's not too cold yet because I am a summer girl. Like, I think I'm from New York, but deep inside I should have been a Cali girl. My first few years in Korea were really tough because my family goes pretty big on Thanksgiving every year, and that's when all of our cousins get together at my parents' house. And the first the first 2 years, I think I missed out on Thanksgiving with my family, and that was really, really hard for me. But then after Brandon and I started dating, his parents, they celebrate American Thanksgiving as well, and so I get to eat, real Thanksgiving food every year. And this year, our pastor actually asked me and Brandon to MC Thanksgiving night, and it's going to be like this pretty big like banquet style dinner with performances and all of that. And initially I was like, ooh, I have a fear of public speaking. Like, I'm fine when I'm teaching students, but it's just still nerve-wracking, anytime I have to go up and speak in front of large groups of adults. So I was a little bit hesitant. Of course, Brandon was like, let's do it. Let's try to tackle this challenge. And so we said okay. And our pastor also told us that this is going to be one of the 2 big events at church, which only added to, me feeling so nervous. So yesterday, before the sermon started, our pastor asked, me and Brandon to go up in front of the congregation and just introduce ourselves and let people know that we're going to be hosting and encouraging people to sign up for the talent show. Well, it's not technically a talent show. We just want anyone who has a gift to go up and share, even if it's not musical, because when I think of a talent show, I think the first few things that come to mind are, playing an instrument or singing or dancing or something like that. But we actually need to reword that and just let everyone know, like, this space is open to all of you guys. If you have any kind of gift that you want to share, like, please, let's do that. And we don't know what we're doing. This is the first time we're going to be hosting something like this, but yeah, just come. And we're a small family because our church is still growing and it's small. So don't feel, this pressure that you have to be this amazing performance artist to go up there. So that's the kind of environment that we're trying to facilitate. And this event is 2 weeks away, but of course I already have the jitters thinking about it. And was it yesterday? I think it was the day before yesterday. I woke up and I've been subscribed to this blog, Zen Habits, and I know I've mentioned it before. It's just one of those things, like, I don't subscribe to a lot of newsletters, but I feel like the ones that I do, the message that I hear from them, they always come at like the most freakishly perfect timing. And this post is quite long, and I am going to link it down below, but in case you guys are watching this morning chat while you're cleaning or putting on makeup, or maybe you don't have the time to go and read it for yourselves, I want to read it to you. So yeah, if you're doing something right now, just keep this on in the background, because I feel like it'll serve as a good reminder for any of us. You don't have to be hosting any kind of event, but I think it's a good mindset to have on a day-to-day basis, whether you're taking it to work with you, or you're in school and you have to, I don't know, present something in class, or if you're in a situation to put yourself out there to connect with other people. So this is called The Way to Finding Powerful Human Connection. It says, as I write this, I'm sitting in a cloud-filled rainforest at a retreat in Ecuador, surrounded by the calls of thousands of tropical birds and creatures, dense, lush greenery, and some of the most open-hearted human beings I've ever met. Before I came here, I had some anxiety about meeting everyone, worried what they might think of me, worried that I would be awkward at talking to everyone or not fit in. This anxiety made me not want to come, and that would have been a huge mistake. I realized that I was telling myself a story about how bad I am at public speaking, at meeting new people, about how unworthy I am of others liking me. This story was not helpful, and it was getting in the way of me doing something with the potential to be amazing. So I asked myself if this was definitely true, and the answer was, I don't know. That I don't know scares me. I decided I had to look at the I don't know in a different way. So I told myself instead, I don't know, and I would love to find out. Who knows what I'll discover? This helped me to get on the plane, and then I was forced to meet an entire group of 24 strangers. And I could see them as 24 people who were potentially going to judge me, or I could see them as fellow human beings who have aspirations, who struggle, who have love for others and frustration and anger, who want to be better people and who are disappointed in themselves when they're not, who want to make a difference in the world and feel guilty that they procrastinate, who are beautiful but who judge themselves, who are so different from me in many wonderful ways, but who at their core have the same tender heart of humanity beating with the strength and fragility just like me. I met them and smiled. I felt the anxiety coming up again, but I turned with curiosity to them. I felt myself wanting to run away and be alone and be comfortable, but I tried to find their aspirations and struggles. I opened my heart to them, and they came in with kindness and changed me and made the effort of overcoming my fear and anxiety of being judged and failing completely worth the effort 1,000 times over. Human connection is not so common in our age of connectivity. We see lots of people, but find our little cocoons to hide in. We don't realize we're craving a deeper connection with others until we find it. It's hard to connect because cultural norms get in the way. We're supposed to talk about the weather and sports and the news, but not about our deepest struggles. We're supposed to say cool or witty things, but not share our greatest hopes for our lives or the person we want to become. It's hard, but human connection is one of the most powerful forces available to us. We don't realize we thirst for it, but we do, and the thirst is deep. When I find real human connection, it nourishes my soul, changes me, and moves me to tears. I can't count how many times I've cried this week. My heart feels raw in a way that opens it up to further connection. So how do we connect when it's so hard? I'd like to share some thoughts. And then there's some bullets that he shared. So the first one is, put yourself in a place with people with your interests. This retreat is filled with people trying to change their lives and interested in mindfulness. That's such a rare thing, to be with a group of people like this, but we each made the intentional choice to come here. Find a group like that at a small conference, a retreat, group meetings, a running club, a tech meetup, anything. Do some online searches for ideas, but say yes to at least one. Overcome your resistance. I always find resistance to meeting up with people and big resistance to coming to give a presentation and meeting with a bunch of strangers. The resistance can keep us from ever getting out of our comfort zones. Don't let it. The benefit of connection is so much greater than the resistance that you should push through it. Smile and be curious. When you meet these scary strangers, open yourself up. Smile, ask them about themselves, try to find out more. People often appreciate a good listener, and questions can start a conversation and keep it going. Share when you can. While listening is better than talking, I found that when I can be vulnerable and share my fears and struggles, people feel they can do the same. This is when you make a real connection, getting below the surface. It takes a little skill to know when you can open up and how much you can share. You don't want to share your deepest secrets as soon as you meet someone, but you can slowly open up as the other person does the same. Some people are not comfortable opening up, so don't push it too deep or expect everyone to make this kind of connection, but be open to it. Open your heart. These are other human beings in front of you, and they have tender hearts and pain and hope just like you do. Open your heart and see who you find in front of you and appreciate who you find. Be yourself and trust that you are worthy of others' love as well. Let others in. Give hugs. Connect in groups and one-on-one. If you're at a conference or in a big group of 20 or more people, it can be hard to really find connection. I much prefer one-to-one, so I'll try to turn to someone and start a private conversation if they're open to it, getting to know them better. I also value small group conversations from 3 to 6 people and think they can be a great bonding experience and a lot of fun. Don't hide in your phone. Many of us have the tendency these days to use our phones when we're in crowded public spaces, but when you're going somewhere like a conference that has a lot of people, it's a big mistake to shut yourself off. Instead, seek interaction, even if you feel awkward about it. I like to start off with a simple question or sometimes with a simple joke that diffuses the tension. Practice makes you better and more comfortable at it. I'm certainly not the world's best conversationalist, nor the most comfortable talking in a group. However, I'm better now than I have been in the past because I've been purposely practicing over the last decade or so. I still have a long way to go, but it's amazing to see the progress I've made, and the more I do it, the less nervous I get. Use each other to dive deeper and find clarity. If you can have good one-on-one conversations or even small group talks, challenge each other to go deeper into your struggles and challenges, aspirations, and life purposes. You'll often find a lot of clarity in these talks. Use each other for continued support. I often offer to give someone accountability if they say they've been struggling to deal with a habit, or if we're both struggling with something, we might try to support each other's efforts to overcome the struggle in the near future. Make an effort to keep in touch. If you make a real human connection, find a way to keep up the conversation and even meet again in person if it's possible. If it's not possible, make a Skype date so you can talk face to face. I don't pretend to have all the answers, nor to be any kind of expert. I still get nervous and awkward, but these ideas have helped me and I hope they help you. Because simple connections with wonderful human beings have changed my life this week, and the power of the love from these connections has left me completely devastated. So many parts of this blog post, I felt like he was reading my mind. Like, I'm such an introvert and I feel so uncomfortable, being in front of like a lot of people or in big group settings. And, I love that he was just like, hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not an expert. I'm still figuring out, because that's exactly how I feel. I don't have it figured out, but yeah, I'm just really thankful that I want to figure that out. I want to go on that journey, and I want to keep learning about myself, and I want to keep learning about other people, because we are all human and we're so much more alike than I think we are. What an amazing reminder, like this Thanksgiving event, it's not about me. It's not about me and Brandon. I think when you take that focus off of yourself and you think about other people, that's when the magic happens, right? After only learning recently how introverted I am, I think instead of seeing it as any kind of a weakness, like, I really want to leverage what I'm learning about myself to really help other people, and not see it as a weakness, but really redeem it as a strength. I think one of the powers that I have with being an introvert is how much I value deep, meaningful connections. So instead of thinking, oh, this just means I don't like to be around other people. No, it's not that at all. I like to be with people in a real way. And I really hope that if you guys are in the same boat as me, I hope that what I shared here from Zen Habits is really going to just change your mindset a little bit and offer you a very positive perspective. Well, look who might be late for work. Oh, by the way, this brush, totally not in my capsule makeup collection, but this brand called Vanity Planet sent me a roll of brushes. And as you can see, I've only pulled out a few just to test them out. They asked me if I wanted to do a video review on it, and I told them I'm not sure yet because I'm not someone that uses a lot of brushes normally. But if a review is something that would be helpful for you guys, I would be willing to do it. Like, I'm not trying to make any money or anything, trying to sell this to you guys. Before I received that brush set, and the only reason I accepted it was because they told me there's no obligation to post. They just wanted me to try it out. So that's what I'm doing. What I do like about the brushes that I've tested out so far from this collection is that they're really soft, but they're not flimsy. And they're all synthetic brushes, so no animals were harmed, for those of you that are into, you know, the cruelty-free products. I forgot to use Boy Brow. Alright, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope that it really left you feeling inspired and just ready to take on Monday. And I'll see you guys soon. I hope you have a great day and the rest of the week. Bye, guys.